Hey, this is Flash 52 and I'm here at Poplar Creek Farm Hostel in North Carolina, just off the Appalachian Trail. And I want to share with you everything that I'm putting into my pack and carrying with me on the trail. You may know that at Neal Gap, about 30 miles into the trail, there's an outfitter. And at that outfitter, I went from a 37-pound pack down to a 20-pound pack. That's without food and water. The basic pack that I'm using is the ULA Circuit. They make a couple different packs. You've probably seen people with these on the trail if you've been out hiking. This is the smaller of the two that they have, and I had to get rid of a lot of stuff in order to fit this smaller pack, but that was part of me getting down to a 20-pound pack. As part of my pack system, a couple of things. I use a Hefty Trash bag as a liner inside to keep absolutely everything dry. I did find a lightweight pack cover. You see some pretty big pack covers out there. I use a Camelback type of water system. It's not perfect for the really cold weather below freezing. What I like best about this is my entire water filtration system is right here. It's just a little mini Sawyer filter put right into the line, and then just drink that as I go down the trail, and it's awesome. Next up is my sleep system, composed of a sleeping bag. This is my winter bag. This is a 10 or 15 degree bag, and there's some nights that I wish that I had a warmer bag than that. My summertime bag is a big Agnes 24. As part of warming up my sleeping bag, I've got a silk liner that I use with the sleeping bag. Next part of my sleeping system is a Therma Rest Neo Air. This is lighter weight than the pad I originally started out with, and I upgraded this one to get my weight down a little bit. I'm using a Terra laser Photon 1 tent. You can see from this thing it's pretty small. That's why I got it, is it really packs down small. I like it because it's 1.5 pounds. I kind of don't like it because you get in and you feel like you're in a coffin. It's a super tiny little tent. The other thing is the main pole broke after using it just for a couple of months. They want $120 for a new pole. So I've just got my pole patched right now. I may be moving to a different tent. One thing I did to save weight, I got a piece of Tyvek. I actually got mine at the top of Georgia Hostel, or if you know someone in construction, they might be able to get you a piece. If you go to Home Depot, they generally want to sell you a whole big roll for like $200. So what I use this for is 3 things. Number one, it replaced the footprint of my tent, and it saved some weight there. I use this when I sleep in shelters. I put it down on the shelter floor because a lot of times the shelter floors are kind of dirty. The third thing I use it for is I'll try and stop when I'm 1/10 of a mile from getting into camp at night, and I'll pull out the Tyvek, lay it out on the ground, and get some firewood right around the shelters. The campsites, a lot of times all the firewood's already been picked over pretty good. Get a bunch of sticks, put them in the Tyvek. I kind of wrap the Tyvek up around it, strap it on the top of my pack, and I come into camp bringing firewood, which is always a great way to meet people, is to bring them firewood. So that's the Tyvek. To finish up the sleep system, here's the silk liner. It adds a little bit of warmth to the sleeping bag. I don't feel it adds a ton, but it adds some. And as far as staying warm at night, which will be a topic of another video, that's definitely part of that. So that's the silk liner. The sleeping bag goes into a compression pack. This is a Sea to Summit compression pack. I guess they call them a dry bag. It has the piece that you put over the top and then the straps that you can tighten down to squish down the sleeping bag. I originally had compression bags for a bunch of things, my down coat and clothes and things like that. I ended up actually cutting the compression part off those to save weight because I wasn't really using those, but I do use it for my sleeping bag. And that's part of your safety system also, is you have the pack, you have the trash bag inside the pack to keep things dry, and then this is an extra added layer. You flip it over and seal it, and if you should, whatever, fall in a creek or something like that, your sleeping bag inside there would be dry. So that's the compression sack. I do bring an extra pair of socks with me. I hike in one pair. These are the REI, the thickest I can get hiking socks. And I actually wear those over top, I don't know if you can see them here, over top of liner socks that have little toes. And these feel really weird when you first put them on and wear them, but you get used to them after a while. And I found that the Toesocks have been really helpful at helping me to avoid blisters. They haven't done it completely. Once in a rare while, I do have to put a little piece of duct tape. I've got some on one of my toes right now because it was getting a little red the other day. But that really, really has helped me. So I wear the Toesocks. I hike in one pair of the thick REI socks, And then I have another pair of the thick REI socks that I keep sealed up so I know they're dry inside my pack for two reasons. Number one, if my feet should get wet and I needed to change socks, I would have a dry pair in there. Number two, I wear these in my sleeping bag at night, and that's part of my warm weather gear. Even in springtime, we get a little bit cold at night, and that pair of socks I found has been very helpful in the sleeping bag. Other basic stuff here, a merino wool hat. I'm really big on merino wool. This top that I'm wearing right here is merino wool. I have a heavy one that I'm wearing right now for wintertime hiking, and I wear a medium weight in the springtime. Summer, I go down to something lighter than that. Great thing about the merino wool is it keeps you warm even if it gets wet. If you do get a little wet from either rain or from sweating, at the end of the day, all you need to do is put on your down coat while you're sitting around camp over top of your wool top, and then your body heat will dry out the merino wool. So that time, by the time you go to bed, it's dry. Other things that I wear merino wool long john bottoms. I wear a pair of lightweight running shorts. And then underneath that, I found for me the very best thing I can wear is actually a sports athletic supporter. Back to my hat. This has my light sewn onto it. This light is awesome. I stitched it on with floss, and that way I saved the weight of the light band, and that's worked out really, really well. Pair of gloves. These are for spring, even summertime, helps protect my hands when I'm hiking. And I have a lightweight pair of over mittens. I got these at Neil Gap. My cooking system, I use just the canister fuel. I do take the little plastic thing off and get rid of that. No sense carrying that extra weight. I use a minimalist little cooking pot. It comes with a cozy that you can just stick it in to keep your meal warm. This stove here, it screws on right on to the top of the fuel. I also carry a spoon from like a frozen yogurt shop. Cost is free, lightweight, works great. That's the only utensil I carry. Here's the little Bic lighter. I used to carry some extra waterproof matches, but I don't carry those anymore. I carry a rope. I have enough to be able to throw a line up over a tree in case there's no place to hang a bear bag or bear cables. I also carry a tiny little piece of this 3M scrubbing pad that makes it easier to clean out my pot, but doesn't weigh much. I also carry a Nalgene fold-up Cantene. It's been helpful to be able to go to the bathroom at night. Obviously, if I use it for that, I'm not going to use it to put drinking water in. The other thing that I use it for in the wintertime is I will heat up water before I go to bed, and I'll put it in here. Now, officially, you're supposed to have the hard-sided bottles, the Nalgene bottles, if you're going to put boiling water in those and stick them in your sleeping bag to help keep warm at night. I've gotten by with this. I don't heat it up quite to boiling, and I haven't had any problems with it. I don't think it's officially approved for that, but I've gotten by with that. One of the things I found hiking through the Smokies is that my iPhone would not stay charged. So I bit the bullet and got something that weighs half a pound, a RAV power, the charging battery. I charge this up when I'm in town or at a hostel. Here's the cable that I carry, tiny little short cable to save weight. And that way I can use my phone as much as I want. I charge it up at night when I'm in the shelter or in my tent. I rip out the pages from AWOL's guide. Today I'm just going 8 miles and everything's on one page, so I only have one page with me. Bear bag, I use it to hang my food from the cables or bear poles at night. Raincoat, I spent more money on this than I originally wanted to, and I'm glad I did. They say these are breathable, they're really not. The thing that's nice with this is it at least has the zippers underneath the arms where you can zip it to make it a little bit breathable. I like having the Velcro at the cuffs, and of course a hood to put over. And I've tried hiking both in warmer weather. I've tried hiking both with and without this, and I decided that for the extra weight it's definitely worth it. There's been some just really big rainstorms, and of course in the wintertime I use it as a final layer over everything else. Down jacket. This is a Mountain Hardwear Ghost Whisper. I upgraded to this over another down coat that I had bought at Neil Gap. And the reason was that for wintertime, I wanted something a little bit warmer. The interesting thing is this actually weighs less than the other old down coat I was wearing. This one does have the hood, which makes it appropriate for winter wear. And again, it weighs the same as the other one I had before that did not have a hood. So this is part of the basic gear, and this goes with me all year round. A pair of hiking boots. I wear the Merrills. I understand that the Merrill boots, if you wear them out as a thru hiker, they will give you a new pair. I'm almost ready to go. Okay. I'll be ready in about maybe 10 minutes.
Okay, I'm gonna head upstairs then.
Okay, my ride just got here. Time to go hiking. But I haven't shown you the winter part yet. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to break this into 2 videos, and I'm going to share with you the extra gear that I carry with me for the winter time. So what I'm going to do is wrap this up. As I said, Merrill, they don't publicly advertise it, but I've heard on the trail that if you have a problem with Merrill boots or you wear them out, if you're a thru hiker, you can contact Merrill and they'll send you a new pair for free. So that's pretty awesome, I think. These are the waterproof boots. I also have inside here a set of Superfeet liners. I take these out at night and I put them in my sleeping bag to dry them out at night. The other thing I've been doing in the wintertime is I've been actually taking my boots, I turn my compression sack for my sleeping bag inside out, and then I put my boots inside that compression sack and stick it down in the foot of my sleeping bag, so when it's really cold, I can get up in the morning and put my feet in a pair of boots and not have them frozen or cold to start the day off. I also carry a toothbrush and toothpaste. I used to put the toothpaste in a little plastic bag, but that was one more thing I had to do every time I was coming off the trail, and the tube doesn't weigh that much. And the toothbrush, I had sawed the handle off because I'd heard stories about people doing that, and I actually didn't brush my teeth as well. I ended up getting some cavities, so I carry the real deal now. Here's the last little thing I want to show you. I carry this little kit in the outside of my pack pocket where I can get to it, the toe warmers. This, obviously, toilet paper. You can never have enough toilet paper. Generally, I'll carry even a couple rolls if I'm going out for 4 or 5 days. I have my hand washing system, which there's these little leaves of soap. You just take one of these leaves out. It's like a little piece of paper, but it's made of soap, and put water on it, and it suds your hands right up. And I found it's great for on the trail. No reason to carry the water part of soap as long as you've got something that works like that. The other thing that I use in the toilet paper and soap department is wet wipes. But instead of being wet, they're compressed tablets. They look like this, and I'll put the link to these below. These are awesome. I actually use them when I do go to the privy or go out in the woods. It ends up leaving me fresh and clean. A couple little Velcro ties if I should need them for something. This is called tenacious tape. It works good for patching like tents and sleeping bags and stuff like that. I don't carry the whole roll of it, just a little piece that I cut off. There's a set of earplugs that I carry, just one of those in case I need them to use in a shelter or whatever if someone's snoring. A little bit of Vaseline in a little Ziploc bag. This is a little screw-in metal hook. It's come in handy like at a shelter if there's no place to hang something up and you want to hang it up. Here's a little bit of moleskin. I don't have a lot of problems with blisters, so I just carry a tiny bit of that. I also carry duct tape wrapped around my hiking poles. And you'll notice I just have a couple Band-Aids. I really leaned out my medical kit supplies and stuff. I carry a little bit of floss, and I have a needle in here. That needle has been used by me when I sewed my light onto my hat coming down on the train. And I've also lent it to other hikers if they need to make a quick repair of something on the trail. Finally, I have one extra set of batteries. And this is a spare set for my headlamp. Since my headlamp is the only light that I carry other than light on my cell phone, if I'm ever hiking late into a shelter at night and my headlight starts to go out, I've got a set of batteries so I can change them there. That's all of the gear that I carry for spring and summer hiking. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create another video and share with you the additional things that I carry for wintertime and snow hiking.